All right, pre-algebra students, we are forging on with percents. So do not lose heart. We are working on this again today. So we are going to look at the percent equation one more time. And you can think of it this way, the percent equation, the part equals the percent of the whole, or the part equals the percent times the whole. Okay, if you want to look at the proportion, and you can choose whichever way works best for you, then your proportion says that we're going to take the part to the whole, and that ratio is equal to your percent over 100. So I will show you both ways so you can pick the one that makes the most sense for you. So as we look at these examples here, we're going to decide whether each question or equation is looking for the part, the percent, or the whole. So 4 is what percent of 6? What is our key word that lets us know what we're looking for? So this tells me that I am looking for what percent. So percent is the missing piece we're going to find in this case. This is very tiny. Let's make this bigger for you. Okay, on part B, we have an equation here. 65 equals 30 over 100 times x. Well, right away, I see 30 over 100. That's my percent, right? That's one way of writing a percent. I know 65, and I want to know 30% of x. So x must be my whole. I'm trying to find 30% of the whole, and that's going to give me my part. So if we go back up here, part equals percent times whole, part equals percent times whole. So x is my whole, that's what I'm looking for here. On part C, what is 79% of 126? What is my key word. This is going to be my variable, what I'm looking for. I know my percent, and I know I'm always taking the percent of the whole. So what I'm looking for in this case is the part. Okay, on part D, 11 equals m times 50. In this case, I can use my percent equation to help me figure this out because I have part equals percent times the whole. So what's missing is the percent. Or in this equation, y equals 0.48 times 21. Part equals percent times whole. And this surely looks like a percent to me, just written as a decimal. So I know that what I'm missing then is the parts. 4% of what number is 12? What number? I don't know what, so it's going to be an x. 4% of this number is 12. So I'm saying 4% of x is 12. So this, I know my percent and I know what it is, so I'm doing a percentage of my whole. So what I'm missing is the whole. 4% of the whole equals 12. Okay, feel free to pause and rewind on any of those that you need to, and let's look how to solve some of these. So is 190 is 10% of what number, looking for the part, the percent, or the whole? So let's break it down. 190 is, so 190 equals 10% of what number? If I use my equation here, part equals percent times whole, part equals percent times whole. I am looking for the whole in this case. So now let's actually solve some together. 11 is what percent of 50? So here's what I know. If solving an equation is not your easiest method, then let's do the proportion. But I can still use this percent equation to help me set up my proportion because now I know part equals percent times whole. So my percent proportion says part over whole. 11's my parts, 50's my whole, and I'm trying to figure out my percent. So now I can use cross products, or if I want to use my fishtail, I can say 100 times 11 divided by 50 equals X. And I will have my answer. So when I take 100 times 11, I get 1100 divided by 50 equals 22. So that means 11 is 22% of 50. Okay, let's try another one. 25 is 4% of what number? So if you don't want to solve the equation because we don't know the steps for solving very well yet, then let's use the equation to help us set up the proportion. Part equals percent times whole. So my proportion says I put part over whole, and that's equal to my percent, which I'm going to write as a fraction. So now I can use cross products or my little fishtail method. I'm going to start with the number next to X, so 25, and I'm going to say multiply divided by equals. So 20 times 100 divided by 4 equals X. So 25 times 100 is 2,500, divided by 4 is 625. So let's see if this makes sense. 25 is 4% of 625. Seems reasonable. Let's check out this one. What is 40% of 60?